Welcome. We are your host, Chris and Tammy.
In this podcast, we dive into the mindset for networking strategies and skills you'll need to build a solid foundation to build a global business.
We've built a multi-million-dollar business and have mentored thousands of people around the globe in the last 25 years. Now, here are the 5 mistakes that people do in network marketing. And starting with number 1 is often what happens is people, they think that the money is in a list that they bill. And yes, I mean, it is correct. I mean, don't discredit the fact that you do need to build a list. That is your foundation, right? That's your inventory. But the fact is, often people think that their list is the income, but what you need to understand is as you build your list, the money is created through the skills that you acquire when you communicate with them. And at the beginning, you're green, you're shy, you're uncomfortable, the posture is not there. And as you start evolving in your personal growth, even by communicating with people, the evolvement begins. Because that you want it or not, your mind is learning through the process of communicating with someone else and looking at their responses. And their response and the way you handle that response will evolve as you keep making these calls. So understanding that your list is your foundation, but it's the process of going through your list where you're developing your skills. And as you're developing your skills, that's when the money is made.
You always need to connect with everybody around you and think about not about yourself and how you're connecting with people, but think about the people in front of you. That makes everything so easy when it comes to connecting with people on your list. Is find how you can serve them in some way in a conversation. Find it in the conversation. It'll come to you. Don't think about what you're going to say. Just have a normal conversation with them. It naturally comes out in normal conversations. I think people try too hard.
One of the second mistake that people do is do not spam. What I mean by spamming is going in other people's group and posting your events, and you got to be careful with that. What you want to do is you want to drip information. So very important that, yes, it is a numbers game, but your results will significantly increase if you play the game right. Focus on, Tammy said earlier, on building the relationship. And as you build a relationship, then when after that, it becomes friends. Some of my best friends came from the industry of network marketing, where once upon a time, they were complete strangers to me and me to them. And then we became like family. So number 3. I want to mention that, Tammy, because the title is very, very specific. Is the fortune is in the follow-ups, not the follow-up. You understand what I mean by that? And see, people often quit after the first follow-up in fear of rejection. And that is the biggest challenge that I see as we mentor people, is they fear the rejection. So the fact is, every time you have a conversation with someone, you always want to keep the door open for the next call. So when you finish, and that's the difference between the amateur and the more seasoned networker, is as you finish the conversation, regardless how it goes, if they're not interested, open it for 3 months from now and book it in 3 months from now. Imagine if all the people you spoke to would agree, so yeah, call me back in 3 months. They're curious to see if you're going to do anything with this. So it's rare that someone says, no, don't ever call me about this. It may happen. And if it does, brush it off, move on next. They don't qualify to work with you anyway. But the fact here is you always want to leave the conversation open for the next call.
Make sure you're taking notes on the conversation so that you can go back and refer to the notes. Because if you're like us, you have so many people that if we didn't have notes in whatever contacts that we have about the last conversations, then we'd be lost. Okay, so number 4, listening to people that are not successful. That's a big one. Why listening to people that never had success? A lot of people are going to listen to people who have not had success in this industry. And unfortunately, they miss the big picture. And it's important to learn from people who have paved the path and have gone through the hurdles, the ups and downs. I mean, Chris and I have been through every stage of that emotional roller coaster. And it's a new stage of a roller coaster. It just seems like when things get hit, there's another stage of learning and growing for everybody. Okay, so always make sure that you're learning from others who are going ahead of you and that are getting the results. And if you follow what they're doing and you're doing the work, you will move towards those results. So it's really important to do that.
On that note, too, is number 5 is letting other people commitment level dictate your energy level. Mm-hmm. This is as a business where being positive is absolutely critical, right? So how are you perceiving the environment that you are surrounded by? Are you going there with a positive outlook and a positive attitude, or are you getting influenced by the negative relatives or the people with just, this attitude that's always draining, that just sucks you down, right? So it's important that you're constantly, don't let other people affect how you feel about an opportunity, right? So don't get all dragged down by the obvious negative environment around you. You got to break free from that. What helps you break free from that? Education, personal growth. This is where it's at. This is where the information lies. Educate yourself. Break free from the average. You're not average. If you are in network marketing, you are not average. You are above average. Take advantage of this and stop listening to the negative voice around you that keeps keeping you where you are.
Obviously, I think personal growth is the big thing for everybody, and always learning, always growing, always applying what you learn. If you're a person that needs to be motivated every morning, find somebody who's going to lift you up and that's going to pump you up so that you can get out and have a great day. But I highly recommend over time is to develop that muscle yourself, and do affirmations or whatever it is. Our vision boards inspire me. So whatever it is for you, it's important that you're doing this regularly.
Beautiful. Okay, so that ends the session here this evening. And everybody, have yourself a wonderful evening.